Launched an This is a CBS News special report. I'm Weijia Jiang in Washington. A major new escalation in the Middle East. Tonight, Iran launched an unprecedented attack on Israel. It involves dozens of drones launched from Iranian territory. A first. This is in retaliation for Israel's bombing of Iran's consulate in Syria earlier this month, which killed a number of senior leaders of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard. Earlier today, Israel shut down all school activities in anticipation of an attack. The United States has been helping Israel tonight, shooting down some drones. There is significant concern that this could widen the ongoing Israel-Gaza war to more of the Middle East. President Biden returned to the White House earlier from Delaware. CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tyab is in Tel Aviv. Imtiaz, tell us what you are seeing and what you are hearing on the ground.
Weijia, an extremely worrying night here in Israel, where in the last hour alone, we've heard the sound of sirens and loud booms, including in areas right across the country, which has just rattled so many people after dozens of drones and potentially missiles entered Israeli airspace. In fact, I believe we have some footage of that. Again, you can hear the sound of sirens blaring, and you can see some of those interceptions. Now, we understand the U.S., Israel, and the Jordanian military intercepted much of that, and so too has Israel's incredibly sophisticated missile defense systems. We also understand that Israel's war cabinet is meeting in Tel Aviv here at this very hour, and we're also hearing reports that there is at least one casualty. Again, reports that there is at least one casualties. The concern is that could change in the coming hours following this unprecedented attack from Iran on Israel inside Israeli territory, something Iran has never done, but warned it would, as you so rightly said, following last week's strike on its embassy in Damascus, destroying that building and killing that senior commando. Now, very quickly, the U.S. Embassy here in Jerusalem has told all U.S. government employees to shelter in place until further notice, and according to a security alert, that as these drones and missiles continue to be launched at Israel, that there's a lot of concern here for the safety of people. And again, finally, we've heard from Iran's foreign ministry, which said that they were responsible for tonight's attack. Weijia.
Imtiaz, thank you. I want to bring in Face the Nation moderator and chief foreign affairs correspondent Margaret Brennan. Margaret, the U.S. has said for days now that this attack was imminent, and we know today that the U.S. shot down one Iranian drone at least. Can you talk about how...
First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the hope for elect preaching His word in truth and sincerity. And to you ribs, to you sisters out there learning in silence and staying in order, I say to you all, Shalom. Now, one thing this guy keeps saying, this is CBS, by the way, this is a small hat owned media, right? And it said that, I believe he said it was unprecedented, or basically saying unprovoked. You know, Iran just unprovokedly decided to just launch missiles, right? But then in the same breath, you know, this fork-tongued devil says that they had just bombed the embassy, Iran embassy, and killed one of their generals, you know. So how is this unprovoked yet you killed one of their generals? Like, they put the truth in your face, man, and mostly the audience is just too dumb to make up their own assessment of the situation. So they're just gonna run with the narrative, right? And even if you did know, man, but a lot of these people ain't doing shit anyways. A lot of these people are just watching TV or listening to the news, shutting it off, and then watching a football game like nothing. Like, people are so detached from what's going on, right? As the scripture says, like in the days of Noah, they'll be given in marriage, right? Just going about their day. This is what's going on, man. This is major news, and people just brushing it off and not even seeing the obvious that, you know, the small hats in Babylon are provoking major changes, right? Right, but really it's the Lord's movie. The Lord's allowing all these things, putting all the chess pieces on their squares where they need to be. Right, but this is major news, man. Now, I don't believe, I can't even remember of any time where Iran and Israel, the land of Israel, had direct conflict, in the modern days. So there is no de-escalating. These guys have been barking at each other for decades, and it's come to a point where man, the kitchen's getting hotter and hotter, man.
Much the U.S. played in deterring this attack.
U.S. deterrence has been a factor here, and this attack was so well telegraphed by Iran. They said they would do something. They took a week to do it since that initial April 1st attack on Iranian generals in Syria. They viewed that as an attack on their sovereign territory, said they would respond, sending slow-moving drones, saying you're going to do something. All of that indicates, as they have said both publicly and privately, that they are not looking for conflict with the United States and are trying to calibrate a response. And there's been a flurry of diplomatic activity with U.S. passing.
I mean, what else? What else do you want these people to do, man? You attack and take out one of their generals, right? They got a chip on their shoulder. They're not gonna seem weak to the people. This was heavily provoked. What do you think was going to happen? They want this to happen. They want to level that Dome of the Rock, right? I believe I did a lesson on this. They trying to bring about the third temple, right? Which is not biblical in a sense where it's true, right? This is not what the Lord wants, but this is what Amalek wants, right? So he has to start this war in order to flatline areas around, because he knows he got but a short time. Right, they cutting him off slowly. The people of his confederacy have turned against him, as Obadiah speaks of. Right, so he's doing things, man. He's moving.
Messages to Iran through intermediaries, having others call and urge Tehran not to escalate this further. So we know there are U.S. aircraft, as you mentioned, there are U.S. vessels in the region to try to also underscore that the United States stands by militarily its ally Israel here. But the U.S. is also advising Israel on what their response to this will be.
And tonight we are continuing to hear from Iran through a tweet it sent through its United Nations mission. I want to share this with our viewers. They say that this matter can be deemed concluded. However, should the Israeli regime make another mistake, Iran's response will be considerably more severe. It is a conflict between Iran and the rogue Israeli regime from which the U.S. must stay away, in all caps. Margaret, they claim it's over. They also have a warning for the U.S. What do you make of this?
It's fascinating to claim it's over before a single drone had even made it into Israeli airspace. The timing there was notable, and it indicates that they are not looking to further escalate from this, that they are responding and they don't want to draw the U.S. in. The U.S. has directly warned Iran not to attack U.S. personnel and facilities in the region, but we do know that U.S. embassies throughout the region are on high alert, that in Israel, in Lebanon, Americans have been told not to travel to certain areas, to stay in well-defended spaces. So this is really going to be, in many ways, a wait and see. Will there be casualties? How much of an impact is there on the ground? That will then determine the Israeli response. The United States is really trying to keep Israel from the escalation risk that could happen here, really trying to keep them from making this into a wider...
And that's bullshit, because we know that the small hatters out there in Israel control the U.S., so, Babylon's not telling shit to Amalek. Amalek is telling Babylon what the hell to do. So what Amalek says goes. So they going. That's what it is. They going. There's no ands, if, or buts. This shit is moving forward. There is no de-escalation at this point. This is decades in the making, and it's unfolding now like origami.
of war.
And of course, that is exactly what the president has been talking about all day with his national security advisors at the White House. That is where we find CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand. Natalie, the president convened his entire national security team. He came back early from Delaware. What are they doing tonight?
We're talking the top administration officials from the Defense Secretary, Secretary of State, CIA Director, National Security Advisor met in the Situation Room with the president as this began unfolding. He tweeted this message a short time ago and really re-emphasizing that message that U.S. commitment to Israel's security against threats from Iran and its proxy is ironclad. As you know, Weijia, as he told you yesterday, that is a message that has been clear from the White House ahead of this attack. It's also being echoed by congressional leaders who are starting to put out statements and post on social media, including Senate Foreign Relations Chair Ben Cardin, who is also cautioning Iran against widening this or escalating further.
Natalie Brand at the White House, thank you.
Right, we know Matthew 6:24, I believe it's Matthew 6:24, where it says, you know, there should be rumors of wars, but the end is not yet, right? Because we got other prophecies going into place, but you know, we see this thing unfolding seriously, like before our eyes, man. We don't got no more than, you know, a few years left, if that. You know, Lord willing, you know, it comes sooner, right? Because we all tired and patiently waiting, man. Man, I've been watching this war back and forth even before I really knew the truth. Just because I knew, man, like I was a Christian, so I knew whatever happens in Israel, you know, back then I believed in the third temple, right? So I was paying attention for that, you know, watching for the end, and then I got the understanding, right? And it has me at the edge of my seat, man. You know, sometimes they say, you know, follow the money. You'll find. I think it says that you find the evil, whatever. But me personally, I like watching like the wars because it lets you know, man, like what's really going on, right? The stealing of resources, things of that nature, right? I really don't follow the money too much, only because money don't mean nothing to, you know, to the super elites, to the ruling class of the world. Money doesn't mean nothing, so I don't follow it. Right? These people are playing games, war games with the world. Right? This video just came out like 12 hours ago, and I just figured I speak on it. You know, I hope it was edifying. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Right? Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS. Shalom to the hopeful elect. And to your ribs, to your sisters out there, learning silence, staying in order. I say to you all, Shalom.